Now, President Donald Trump and his administration are resolutely defending his claim that U.S. strikes obliterated Iran's nuclear program. It has also hit back at accounts that Iran may have moved enriched uranium elsewhere before the U.S. bombing. President Trump has slammed media reports on a classified report that doubted the extent of damage to Iranian nuclear sites. Now, Trump has announced that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and top Pentagon officials will be holding a major news conference on Thursday to defend the great American pilots who carried out a perfect mission. Now, at a NATO press conference in the Netherlands, Trump publicly reprimanded the analysts who prepared the report, claiming it wasn't finished and should have been withheld until they actually knew the answer.
So my question to you is...
It was so bad that they ended the war. It ended the war. Somebody said in a certain way, that it was so devastating, actually. If you look at Hiroshima, if you look at Nagasaki, that ended a war too. This ended a war in a different way, but it was so devastating.
Hegseth and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio stepped forward at NATO to denounce attempts by leakers to spin the intelligence, stressing that the early assessment was labeled low confidence. The White House also circulated a short statement attributed to the Israeli Atomic Energy Commission that said that the U.S. strike on Iran's fortified nuclear facility in Fordo destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility inoperable. While the statement was much closer in tone and substance to Trump's position, but stopped short of claiming Iran's nuclear program has been obliterated. But that didn't stop Trump from posting on Truth Social. He said Israel just stated that the nuclear sites were obliterated. Now, interestingly, the White House released a statement on behalf of an Israeli security agency almost half an hour before Israeli Prime Minister's office released it to the media. Now, Trump administration is treating the leak of an initial Pentagon battle damage assessment as an act of sabotage, launching an aggressive campaign to discredit the report as preliminary, inaccurate, and already outdated. Now, the FBI has launched an investigation into the breach. The administration also plans to limit sharing classified information with Congress to crack down on leakers. Now, CIA Director John Ratcliffe cited a new body of credible intelligence, including historically reliable sources and methods that shows Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged. Now, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, whom Trump criticized last week over her Iran assessment to Congress, said that on Wednesday that new intelligence confirms that Iran's nuclear facilities have been destroyed and will take years to rebuild. Another key question raised by experts is whether Iran moved out some of the 400 kilograms of enriched uranium before the U.S. strikes. Now, talking to Fox News, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt called these reports false. And for more on this story, our correspondent Susan Tanani reports from New York.
DNI Tulsi Gabbard now says that new intel shows that Iran's nuclear sites were destroyed after those U.S. strikes, following preliminary low-confidence reports assessing only months-long setback. Meanwhile, President Trump at the NATO summit in The Hague called the strikes, quote, a historic obliteration and credited Israel for fighting hard. He also said that Iran now wants to talk and make a deal. He confirmed that talks could take place next week, but downplayed the need for any kind of deal. Israel's nuclear agency claims Iran's program is now set back for years. President Trump also announced that on Thursday at 8 a.m., Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, joined by General Dan Kane, will hold a press conference at the Pentagon to defend the mission and honor U.S. pilots. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION The World.